Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Would You Better Postgame show. Sorry, we're having a little technical, slight technical snafu, shall we say? But we're up and running. So thanks for joining us. We're doing it a little remotely tonight because of the blizzard out there, and I was kind of wondering if it shouldn't, but I looked out now and you can't see in front of your face. So I think we made the right call to do this from our homes and keep everybody safe. So nice win by the Jays, 79-61. I'm hoping to be joined by Austin Chapman here shortly. Let me double check with him. Let me get the chat going here. Everybody stay safe out there, okay? Okay, we're gonna have Unsung Hero Worst Call of the Night and just a breakdown of the game. We'll kind of go through the scenarios. They kind of mentioned it at the end. Rob Stone and Seth Davis kind of mentioned at the end that the Jays, even going into tonight, they had clinched third place. They now still have clinched third place, but there is a chance we can get second, a real good chance. And hey, Austin, what's up?
Oh, just living out here, man. It's Final Destination outside town. So no, we're here. I'm just praying the boys get home safe. It's nasty out there.
Oh, is your family out and about?
But yeah. Are you not? You're in the house, right? You don't
I'm
see
in
you.
my house.
You don't. You got those windows. Sorry, this is a perfect time for ad. You got those windows, so you don't hear this. You don't hear what's going on.
Oh no! I
Nasty
looked
out
out.
there, Tim.
I
It's
looked out
nasty
when
out
I came
there.
down. I came down to the basement to do the podcast, and I looked outside and I was like, "Yeah, I think we made the right call to
Yeah,
not do this
yeah.
at
No,
the studio."
I'll give you your credit on this one. Yep.
Yeah, it's
Props were due.
Max, our intern, was poo pooing it this morning, saying, "Oh, it's not going to be that bad. There's not much snow." I go, "Okay, Max. At 9 o'clock, I want you to go outside in a t-shirt and shorts and take a picture. And we'll see if he does it. Knowing
Under-
him, he probably will."
Understood.
Hey, man, nice bounce back, huh?
Expected. And I think we kind of just exerted a little bit of dominance, right? Getting to the
Yeah,
rotation a little earlier than norm. Kind of, allowing the guys to kind of get in there and get some rotation in, which is probably going to be necessary, especially coming into the Big East tournament, right? Of where we're going to have to try to save legs where we can. So I think it was, yeah, today was good for a lot of reasons, just getting some legs in there that probably hadn't had a lot of run in a long time, right? But I think
yeah. Cole got some good rest tonight. Well,
different
Fred,
lineups,
Fred is the star of
right?
the game, man.
I think we're gonna see some different lineups. It is my whole thing, like at the start of maybe the first game or so, like it would make sense to try to get in that championship game, right? To try to have the freshest legs you possibly
Yeah,
can. I
I'm
don't know.
with you.
Yeah, especially with the
I'm
team
with you. I'd
has
love.
like
I'd.
the
I,
yeah, like with the way Fred, like I've been saying it, like I trust in Fred, dude. Like he's undersized in a way, but like I played with Echenike and they kind of got a lot of that
yeah,
same,
they do.
you know, pedigree that I think is it's more like its presence, and just being able to kind of be behind Calk. It's kind of it, maybe we think is a disservice, but I think it's probably been the best thing for him.
Yeah, and I was telling my wife too. I said, none of that. Watch him shoot free throws. He's gotten. I would have never said this a year ago. He's way better at free throws than Cobb, and his
I'll credit
touch on
that
the
to
ball
Mac.
right now is.
I'll credit that to Mac though. Tim, you've been to enough practices where
Oh yeah,
you can't leave that place if you don't hit whatever
yeah,
setting it is. So yeah, no, of course, it's Solidify Nation, right? So you got to figure out something on that on the on the wrist, and if you got the lead number, leading shooter in the nation, like of course he's gonna finally put something together, but. He's had nothing but to do but to grow, right? Like that was going to be his only way to get on the court. And I think he, just like JT, right? You'll be surprised if you go in there and just watch JT play a little bit. But when you're playing against somebody like Hawk day in, day out, you got no other choice but to get
yeah,
better, right?
yeah,
Like you have to improve. And I think that's just why this team, though, is it could be scary, man, if they figure this thing out, which hopefully if they're getting some rest, guys are starting to get a little bit healthy. That would be great for, bodes well for us. But yeah, just kind of praying everything is all good and everybody's healthy.
I
Is
wanna I want to
is
get to 2 points you made concerning Fred in a minute, but our chat's blown up already. So see, we do it remotely. Boom, chat. Maybe
Yep.
everybody's just home tonight, you know?
Yeah, well, you don't have really a choice.
Hey, our good buddy Matt Rasmussen from Nebraska Realty and big contributor to our show and a big supporter of our show. I want to thank Matt. Matt chats in. He goes, I thought Fred looked great tonight, which we're talking about right now. And just love seeing him hit those free throws. Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Mhm.
Um, Lawrence says, are you coming in for the Big East tournament? If so, do you need a place to stay?
Lawrence, are you in New York? Is that what is this?
Um, I am not going to the Big East tournament. I'm not going anywhere right now. Like
There.
I'm still gonna put in for the credentials for the NCAA because you never know. You never know. It's down in Indy. It's a Sweet 16. I might stroll down there, but I'm gonna stick close to home and do a lot of these broadcasts with you, and it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Hey,
Um, all right, 2 points about Fred. One, you talked about you trust them, okay?
who's that? Fred?
Fred, yeah, yeah. So
I
tonight,
would
when I was
say to a
watching,
point. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
okay,
okay.
so I was watching the game tonight,
I'm gonna
and
stretch
that's
it.
what came through my mind is because my wife's asked me, goes, "What year is he?" And I go, "He's a junior. Is he going to start next year?" I go, "Well, yes, but if they get a big time guy in the portal, then maybe not. We'll have to just see." And it got me thinking, like a performance like tonight, and again, it's against one of the worst teams in the league, and they're a little bit undersized in there. I get that,
Right.
but but do you think Mac trusts him?
I think so. I think the team trusts him is more the point too, though, right? Like we're in a different era as far as like the determinant factor. And I think that's what we keep hearing about, just the unit that they are. Like that I just believe their chemistry is at that level that they trust Sammy, right? Like, so I just think they're just at a point that as a full 15, 14, whatever it is that I think that's just something that's unheard of, right? I've been a part of a lot of teams and we've seen a lot of teams. I just think it's unheard of. And it's definitely, as we've kind of talked of the narrative of this team of like not having one of the main, integral pieces that here we are today, right? After the Georgetown start to Big East, like I don't know. You can't really mark this up as, them being, as Mitch kind of pointed on one day, just being head and shoulders better than the next team because they aren't, right? Like there's a lot of attention to detail. They're on the same page majority of the time. And I just think that's just eh, yeah, it's just like they do a lot of the things that are those hockey assists that you can't see, right? And it just that's what they are as a team. And I don't want to say too much about it. I just kind of want to see it, and hopefully,
Yeah,
this is Mac's best years in the tournament. Is kind of my hope,
yeah.
because I think
Well,
this one of
and
his
Fred
best.
gives teams a little bit different look. You know what I mean?
They do. I
Yeah.
mean, you say
Um,
Fred.
Not the shot blocker that Kalk is,
Fred gives
but
you a
he's
whole
more
bunch.
physical and he can get out on the perimeter a little better.
I would say that, but he also can be, a presence at the rim.
Oh yeah.
Maybe that, the circumference of what that ring is isn't as large. So like the mid range still looks very appetizing. And of course, like actually, getting to the rim and probably committing more fouls than Goff. But like he does a great job of verticality, which he did today, at times. And it's just like if you had to watch somebody for your 4 years, that's probably the best person you could watch from that position, I would have to say, right? And if I think Echenike kind of has his name in certain books that I would take that over, a true freshman next year if you don't get something in the portal. And like the portal can be, iffy. And that's kind of the thing too. I don't know if Max is just a true believer on portal when that's never really been MO. He's like trying to build teams from scratch. And
We have gotten a couple of pretty good guys here lately.
but they've been here for a little bit. right? It's not the first year guy. So like
Well,
next year,
Baylor,
he-
Jemiah and Pop have just been here 1 year.
I guess you say Jemima. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah. Yeah.
on to another point about Fred, and people probably don't know this. And you mentioned it. It's let it fly, right? People really don't realize this. Like they do, and I think I've talked about this before. They do this 3-point shooting drill where they split up into teams, and they have X amount of minutes to make as many 3-pointers, and they have guys at the scorers table adding them up, and it's a big competition. Losers got to run and so forth. Fred participates. Kalk participates in that. And I think through those drills, Fred's getting much, has improved his technique on his shot. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's yeah, it's just shoe to you in a lot of ways. Like I think Darren Verrees would, attest to that. He was one of those ones that kind of put the imprint on it, of course, when he was here. But yeah, yeah. Trying to get guys to shoot with the right form, right, of course, but then finding what works for you too in a way and then making it consistent definitely is something that Mac too allows guys just to breathe that confidence, right?
Yeah,
Rock
absolutely.
had 2 right feet, so like it didn't look right, but he was able to kind of knock in some of the the most threes that the university has seen. But yeah, no, it's you have no other choice when that when you're asked of some high things from um, a position that like you should be able to shoot a mid-range shot if your guy is sitting all the way in the paint. So there's going to be a time where you're going to have to shoot this. So of course,
Well, I'm sure everybody's afraid to open their mailbox after getting the email from Creighton today about the ticket increases. So
well, I mean, when you got
mine went up
pyrometrics,
substantially. That's all I'll say.
what
They
it's
moved my
called?
seats into the next range up.
Isn't that what it's called? Pyrometrics or what is that? Whatever. Like, when you got fire at the game, Tim, come on, what do you expect? Like, come on, man. They gotta, something's gotta, somebody's gonna pay for it.
Yeah, I just, yeah. I mean,
Or where's it
I
gonna
don't.
come from? This is just I know this is a iffy debate, but like, where's the money gonna ultimately come from, right? This is kind of my thing.
Well, right, but I
Right.
mean, you've asked the like. There's different tiers, right? Okay,
Right?
there's guys who have a lot of money who I'm sure get hit up tons. Okay, but I've just heard from like the middle tier to the lower tier going, man, we've been hit up a lot lately, and now we're getting an increase. And I know a lot of people that are going from
I'm just
four.
talking about from totality. Like, if we got to pay said player X amount for how many years, how long can that last?
Oh, I know.
That's what
Oh, I know.
I'm just talking about the true totality of it, like
Yeah, I'm not blaming them for
inflation. You're
having to
not
do the
blaming them
price
for
increase.
inflation.
Like, but I just think at some point, like me, I'm probably going to go to 2 tickets instead of 4. I mean, because I just don't want to spend that much money. And frankly, if I got a press pass, man. I can go to the game if I want. You know,
Hey, I hear you.
you
Well,
know,
don't let those go that easily, Tim.
and Guess what? They're all on TV.
I know, but come on.
Yeah, I know. I know. I just but I'm not going to do this forever either. So I kind of want to keep my seats. You know what I mean?
You're right, right. So
So there's
yeah,
kind of a yin and yang. I think I've got a co-op and sat long enough in my little section. So
I think yeah,
we got a co-op going. Maybe we can split the seats.
I think you got a lot of stake in the game too.
All right, you saw right through me on that one. Anyway, um, yeah, let's look at this box here for a second because it was so many guys got a chance to play today. It was crazy. I
Yeah,
mean, to see a guy come off.
it was early. It was early and
Yeah, yeah. Fred scored 12 points, 4 or 5 shooting. That was great. Um, Fedor, they see him back today. Makes a big difference. 6 points. And then the starters, what a night for Jackson. This is really funny. I do this often on BlueJayBanner.com on our message board. I'll go, gosh, we got to get this guy going. This is the third game in a row. He's missed shot. And then the guy will make 4 in a row, right? So somebody posted that about Jackson tonight, and then Jackson makes his next 5 in a row. So like
the reverse thing.
5 of 8 with 6 rebounds. That's a pretty nice night.
Yep.
Colquitt 20, Ashworth with 11, 8 assists. Jemiah kind of didn't really do a whole lot tonight. Just kind of was out there.
Hmm.
I would like to see him take some of those mid-range shots, frankly. I mean, he had a few chances to take some of those mid.
I think over the past couple of games, he's been taking some that are a little too contested. So I'm sure they watched enough film that like now it looks like it's a bit in his head.
Yeah,
So now
maybe.
he's not taking the open one, and now it's too deep a thought. But
And then,
yeah, yeah,
man, Jay Green, another solid performance, man.
yep.
9 points, 2 rebounds, just all over the court. Great defense. Um, but boy, we gotta get some things figured out on that press. I mean, we look like we at there's times we look like a junior high team. Right? I mean, I'm screaming at the TV like there's a bunch of fundamental things you learn junior high, junior varsity, whatever,
Well,
in breaking a press that we're not doing.
but that's the whole thing with like Fedor. Like he has, he gets to his pivots, he uses pivots, he uses ball fakes. Sometimes, yeah, it's just we've talked about it all year. Sometimes you're just a little way too loose with the ball. I think what 15 of them today. Like that's just against this team. That's exorbitant. And like
Ash. I know Ash got really ripped on this, and he does this often, and I really get upset with him when we do break the press, or there was kind of a mini fast break, but we were out, man. He dribbles it over into the corner on the sideline where he can get trapped. Like you don't want to do that. That they've been trapping pretty much the whole second half. So why would you go there? That's Max point. Like stay in the middle of the court, man. You got guys coming down on the wings. Let them get the freedom of movement. If guys are going to come at you, then they've got an easy shot. The other
yeah,
thing he does on the press that I don't like is will he'll get the ball maybe in, then it'll go to Jemiah, then it'll go back to him, and he's got an opening, okay? But he'll only take 2 dribbles and then he slows down and almost stops. And it gives the pressers who are going to trap him time to come up on him.
I think some of the time, I would say most of the time right now he's playing for the foul instead of playing aggressive. A lot of
Yeah, that too.
generally too, that's just all mental stuff, right? Like you're watching too much film, you're sitting there and you're thinking way too deeply about it and not just reacting. And a lot of times is that's where players get in ruts, right? We're kind of watching it with Mason, which um yeah, I think we're all just kind of praying on that one to go in, and I think it's going to happen at probably the largest time possible. Just kind of how he gets these tap outs, right? Like he's been doing it the right way, so I believe they're going to reward him in like one of the best times possible. And it's going to be one of those stat lines of 2 minutes, 3 points, 2 rebounds, one assist, you know, with like a plus of 10 plus type thing. I like just kind of see that, but it's a matter of just doing things the right way, ultimately at the end of the day and like trusting the process, kind of like we were talking to Fred. I think he just trusts the process. He
Yeah.
stayed at it, him to actually, show the shot as kind of a testament to him and putting the work in on the game, right? But like he's had no choice, and a lot of that is you won't play if you don't, right? Either you transfer, you're still gonna be same player you were a few years ago. So like it doesn't really. So like I think they understand that as well. And like, they have a value at this point. So it's kind of like you're a professional. So you almost got to do the things that they would do, right? So
Yeah.
I think they're
Um,
gonna realize
good
it.
a good thing too, like, I think, there's enough film now on us how we struggle against the press. So we're gonna see it a lot.
Yeah.
Thankfully, like Butler's not really a pressing team. They're kind of like us. They really don't put a lot of pressure on you. So I don't think that'll. But when we get into the tournament, again, we talked about this. There's a great chance we're going to play Georgetown, and even if DePaul would beat Georgetown, hey, guess what? DePaul pressed the crap. Was the last time we
A lot
played.
of it though is like you're saying, getting to a place, and that's where like as is a Baden, if you have the number one free throw shooter, I think a lot of times too that could be, his weakness in a way because he doesn't want to release it, right? Because he wants to shoot free
Yeah,
throws.
he's been drilled in. Don't let the
Right.
ball
So
go.
it's like if you pass it, then yeah, that's what they want anyways, right? So it's just kind of like this chess match too in a way that's like. All right. Well, if we cover on that end, then it's you almost gotta kind of give up some of those too if you're knowing you're going to get those, for you those extra points. I don't know, like depending on what the game is, score, situation, who's on the court, the whole nine. I don't know if you want, I don't know if you want Mason per se shooting the free throws at the end of a Big East championship, right? When you got
Wouldn't
leading that
it
division.
be so Mason to make them though? And
But it would. That's exactly what I'm saying. So like this is I don't it's a double-edged sword, in a way. And so that's kind of why it's like, well, maybe that's the
I I'd
part
like to see Jay
reason
Green get the
some
ball
of
more
these
in that presser
turnovers.
because he's bigger. He can handle a little bit.
They would probably want to foul him. No?
Yeah,
So like
but he's been hitting his free throws, man.
yes, but like when it matters who
But I
shoots.
mean, I mean, in that case, when they were just pressing to steal the ball. They weren't pressing to foul. They were just. It was just like these guys can't get out across half court, so let's press them. To try and cut into the lead. They weren't necessarily. It wasn't a late game opportunity where they were
Yeah.
fouling. Now that's when most people press us, right? But
But if you're
they were
providing
just doing. I'm
pressure,
just saying to
generally like when you're
show
providing
some.
pressure, generally you're fouling anyways. So like that's what I mean. Like generally where we
Well,
are,
right.
you don't see it all the
But
time.
tonight wasn't fouling. They were just pressuring us because we couldn't get the ball across half court, or we were struggling to. So they were just like, "Hey, if they're going to struggle, we're going to keep pressing." It's the old Dana Altman thing.
Right.
Hey, I'll press a team all night long if they don't ever go and try and score off it. You know,
Right.
at least we were trying to score off it. I'll give us credit for that. We have done a pretty good job. We did a good job when we played St. John's the other day of in the first half of beating their pressure and scoring on it. I thought there was a point there was almost like, oh, I wonder if they're going to take that pressure off because we're getting some easy hoops here. But that's what you got to do. But at any rate, hey, we got some more chats. So Adam was listening to my conversation about the ticket prices, apparently, which I said, did I not say? I understand why they're doing it. Okay. They've got to do revenue sharing next year and all this stuff, right? He said it's a new world of NIL, which I don't know. Is the revenue sharing really NIL? I don't think it is. I think the two things are kind of a little bit different, right? Am I right on that?
I mean, who's to
Technically,
say commingling is wrong? And
no, no, I know, but technically, what the revenue sharing the NIL are,
I
they're
know, but like who's to say who's paying that tab at the end of the day, right, Tim? So like that money's all kind of going in the same place.
right, right. With the next year, the revenue sharing is going to be hard to tell, but like this money, technically, the way the rules are set right now, you can't take ticket money and put it in your NIL.
You can put it in your aisle, but you're putting it in where those guys are playing, like the jerseys, the market, the merchandise. There's just
No,
too
no, no.
many.
I'm talking the school can't put it in NIL.
They're
I don't
not.
think
That's
this.
not NIL though, but that's everything that
No,
where
that's my point. That's my point.
that
Is
is NIL though, from like old time sense of things, right?
right.
In a way. So it's like,
I know
yes,
we're
that's
splitting
going to
hairs here,
increase on this end because ticket price is probably going to have to increase,
right?
right?
I'm just going back to what the chatter is saying. He's
No,
saying it's
I hear you.
NIL, and I'm saying technically it's not NIL. But anyway,
But is it?
to complete his thought here, he said money has to come from somewhere if we want to stay competitive in the NIL area. I get that, but I also have a stake in this to say, hey, I've donated all I can. I I have you've raised my ticket prices by over 40% for next year.
But what are the
Okay,
added incentives there?
what's
Like,
that?
aren't there are incentives here, right? Like, aren't there
Zero. Zero
dinners,
incentive. Either I keep my seats or I lose them.
like dinners and all these other things
Yep.
attached? Like, you don't meet
Not at my
players.
level. Not at my level. Nope. They just they moved my seats to a up to another tier, to the up to a tier above me. So automatically they were going to go up. Then they slapped a huge per seat on there. So anyway, I don't want to get into that complaint. I'm just saying from his point, like I said, I understand why they're doing it, but at some point you got to be careful. This is not, New York. We got to be careful not to
I
price
hear
ourselves
you,
out
but
of it.
there's no where's the show in town, right?
I get it.
And like Tim, it's inflation like everywhere. Like we can't find eggs right
Forty
now,
percent
dude. We
inflation
can't
though.
get eggs right now, Tim.
40% inflation.
No, I hear you. 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 I'm just a messenger. I'm sorry. I'm
No,
sorry.
I know. I'm just saying. if Adam would like to throw some money my way, I'll be glad to keep all 4
Yeah,
seats and
yeah,
donate
no,
more money,
understood.
or the Blue Jay band, whatever. All right. Then Adam says, uh, "What is wrong with Mason Miller?" Now this cracks me up because over on BlueJayBanner.com in the message board, people are like, "Man, I don't want to see Mason on the floor at all anymore." AJ AJ says, "I wonder if this is the same AJ we know."
Oh yeah.
AJ said, "What's wrong with Mason Miller? How does he look in practice? Is it injury related?" I think you and I've discussed this, right? We think, at the beginning it was injury related. It just took him a long time to get comfortable and get back. Um, and then confidence rolls into it, right? We talked about how he even said his dad came in, they went through all these shooting drills, he got something figured out. We both know in golf, somebody will give you a little tip. Ooh, it worked today. It works
Right.
the next day. Then the next week, it doesn't work. In fact, you get worse. And then you're like, so then you just throw that in the garbage and start all over again.
Mhm.
So it's kind of the same deal. It's not really injury related. He's looked much better in practice when I've been there. He's looked much better. And I think it was Isaac or Ty was telling us, I think it was Ty, was saying, yeah, he's shooting it really well in practice. And when I've watched him shoot, his form looks good. He looks relaxed, he's shooting
He's
it. You got to carry that to the game, and that's the hard part.
Yeah, and that's the only thing I'm gonna say. And like, because I think, what he had was something that was getting over a hump too. And I think he still was growing, like somewhat still in a little way, kind of like growing and figuring out growth plates. And so I think a lot of that is just not being comfortable in body at first. And then of course mentally, I've had my fair share of injuries takes a while. And when you're playing at this high of a level that they're playing at, and like the competition that things were at, and a lot of the pressure that he has to deal with his dad being who he is, and just everything that's in play where he is, that I think it's a lot, right? And I think it's just a lot on his shoulders, and now they're getting paid to play, and it's just, you know, you were the best, had the best 3-point percentage past year, and it's a lot of pressure, at the end of the
Yeah.
day. And
Well,
like
plus
start
it'd
to
be
figure
different if
out the way he
it'd be
did.
different if it was him and Isaac were the only two guys at his position. There's a bunch of guys that can play his position.
Right.
That adds
Right.
more pressure, right?
Right. And so, like, if you're not feeling comfortable in your body, of course, the number one thing in shooting is confidence. And if you're a shooter and you got no confidence, that's, Steph Curry, we wouldn't know who Steph Curry is if you didn't have confidence, you know?
Um, Hey, let's get some ads in here. We got to talk about some of our fantastic sponsors. Care Miners Home Healthcare, huge sponsor of Blue Jay Banner. I want to thank them so much. If you're in need of care for your injured, ill, or senior loved one, reach out to Care Miners Home Healthcare. Their agency is comprised of certified caregivers who have many years of experience who will receive versatile, flexible, and customized care for your comfort and, most importantly, your peace of mind. You may not need their services today. No problem. Go to careminersnebraska.com. Check out everything they have to offer, because then when it comes up, when all of a sudden your 80-year-old aunt or grandmother breaks her hip, hey, you might need their services, so you'll know exactly what they offer. So give them a call, 402-532-1383. That's 402-532-1383. And then we want to talk about the fabulous company, Discount Window and Doors of Omaha. My house is nice and warm, Austin, because I got those new windows.
Yeah, you don't hear the wind. That's what I
You
mean.
know what?
I hear people screaming outside like I'm
It's
in the trenches, Tim.
it's not the wind though. It's not the windows. It's just that the wind is blowing so hard we can't help but hear it, right? Um, but yeah, they've really helped. They've helped with my heating. That's a big thing for me. My electric bill's gone way down, my electric and gas bill. So they have a trusted reputation, years of experience. They have the finest products, and the prices are off the charts. There's no tariff on these guys. All right, their prices are way discounted. So check them out. That's Discount Window and Door of Omaha, 402-889-8989. That's 402-8, excuse me, 402-884-8989. Tell them that Blue Jay Banner sent you. All right. Our buddy Matt says, I didn't think the prices went up that bad.
Who's that, Matt?
Yeah.
Well, Matt, like, well, yeah. I guess he's inquiring for some more sponsorship, aren't you, Tim?
Hey, Matt was very generous the last show.
Okay.
You weren't there, so I'll
Yeah,
tell you about it later.
yeah.
Yeah, we
Well,
got we got to do some work for Matt and his company now because man, that was pretty nice of him.
yeah.
Uh, so yeah, he said Matt said tonight's game kind of reminded him of Fred's game, kind of reminded him of Jason Green's breakout game.
Sure.
Yeah, a
I don't know if
little
we're
different circumstances, but
often. Yeah, absolutely. And it was just like, especially with the guy we got at the helm right now,
yeah.
and he being the last of it. But
Um, I got to tell you, I'm watching the game tonight. I thought of you and I was smiling because Ashworth gets a break in the first half, a nice break because we were in kind of a roll when he went to the bench. Then he gets in the second half, has another little break, and then he gets out there and nails 2 threes in a row. And I thought, there's Austin saying, just give him a couple more minutes and he'll
uh,
start knocking them down.
some fresh legs. It does you some work. It does, and he's had a tough job. I give it to
Oh,
him. He's had a hell of a job to do this year, and he's done it at a very, very high level. So
the guys tonight really, I mean, really, the announcers tonight really talked up Ashworth and Kalk both. I mean, really
yeah,
about there. And I was kind of surprised. Donnie Marshall's kind of pushing for Kalk to get player of the year.
yeah, yeah. After I mean, last game though, they were all over, of course.
Yeah. But I mean,
I
it's a
know,
tough call because it generally goes to a player whose team wins the conference.
right? And
And
like
so then RJ
everything
Lewis
that's
is
going
right
on,
there.
come on, this dude had the white suit on, man. Come on, Tim. DK is probably cheering inside.
No, I'm talking about RJ Lewis.
No, I know, I know. I'm just
And
saying,
there's
that's
more there's
I'm
more
sure that's where
Eastern media in this
I'm
league
sure
than
that's where the
Western media.
trophy's going. Like unfortunately,
So I think
like
that's a factor too.
unless he finishes this one off with a 50 piece, which how he started it, that would be
Yeah.
great to see.
But he is going to win the defensive player of the year 4 times, which is
Um,
in all the history of the Big East unprecedented. So that's a
Riley,
tremendous
yeah,
honor.
deserved. Deserved. Like, how do you not? He hadn't fouled out of the game, Tim. Like, and he
How do you
had
do that?
2 fouls.
You're talking about Fred. We're talking about Fred. What a block Fred had tonight. Now
I'm saying, and then
replay showed that he got him pretty good. But hey, play on.
hey man, hands ball back in the old days, right?
He got him
Hands
on the arm.
ball. Yeah.
Hey,
Well,
I'd like to update everybody. I glanced over before and they're up by 5. They're now down by 10. BYU going in to Hilton, up 10 in the first half. Woo! And a low, God, 2 teams that just score crazy. It's 33-24. Never know.
where you got Texas now, Tim?
Texas, oh, they're out.
Uh, they're out of
They're
it.
out, but I did see they were ahead. I haven't checked the score lately here. Let me check the score. They were,
He's definitely in, huh?
they're definitely out.
Mississippi State?
Oh, Mississippi State's in easy.
Yeah.
Texas is up 8
Yeah.
with 4 minutes to go.
Yeah.
Woo. Now they win that, they're going to get back in the conversation. However, they're 17-13 even with that win.
Last one, then. Okay. Since we got to go down
They
there.
lose if they lose tonight, that pretty much puts a nail in their coffin because then they lost again to being at large. That would be 15 losses. They don't have a resume. We've kind of looked. Our bracketologists have all kind of looked at the historical data on that, and you got to have some really. You got to have like 5, 6 Q1 solid wins to get in with those many losses.
Last one. Oh,
But
Nebraska. Where do you have Nebraska then if they pull this one off? Granted.
well, they're in the playing game now. Here, people are jumping on it. They're down 6 at halftime.
Yeah.
So it's on Peacock, so I can either watch it on my phone or I can try and figure out my wife's gadget she's got down here downstairs. So I'm maybe gonna have to do that because I gotta have it on the big screen. But people are on me for having to. They're not a tournament team. Forget all the metrics. Hey, dude, that's how they pick the teams, whether you like it or not. Okay,
Crazy.
you can't go by eye test because I always say you want to go by eye test. Sure, go ahead. Watch every game Nebraska plays, then watch every game their opponents have played. So all 30 opponents, you have to watch every one of their games. Then you can give me eye test. Other than that, you can't give me eye test because eye test can be great one night and not good the other night, and you may not see them. You know,
That's
that's
what
why they don't use eye test, and that's why these committee members get these NCAA packages where they shrink down a game in like 35, 40 minutes, and they can watch 4 or 5 games a day to get it. They're not going to see every game, but they're going to get a pretty good idea. So
Oh,
at any
absolutely.
rate, at any rate, Nebraska's besides that, Nebraska's resumes, when you look at their actual games won and gaps of games played, you pair that up, say against Creighton, it's not far off. I mean, they've
If I had anything to do with it, Tim, I'm putting them in there just solely for the state of Nebraska because I feel like
you
I'm good for the camaraderie.
know what I did have my bracket, my last bracket yesterday. I did have Omaha and Creighton in the same pod.
Oh, that would be three of them, huh? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at you. Yeah.
So, but Omaha's got to win the conference tournament, and if they don't win the conference tournament, St. Thomas has to win the conference tournament. So they kind of got 2 shots here. So if they lose out, they got to cheer like heck for St. Thomas to win that tournament, and then it reverts back to who won the regular season, and Omaha won it, and they'll get in
Gotcha.
because St. Thomas is ineligible until next year. So Texas up 7 3 minutes ago. I think they're gonna win this one, Us.
They're
Look
gonna
at that.
I got some faith in Nebraska too, weirdly. I feel
I
like
think, yeah. I'm interested to watch the second half. All right, unsung hero. Ooh, it's a tough one. There's a lot to choose from tonight.
I'm going Fedora actually to come back from where he
I like
did.
it.
He came in right off the jump and then hit that right on that wing, right? Hit that three.
Yep.
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 And it just looked natural and he looked like he looked fresh, honestly, which I think he's probably going to be one of the biggest pieces, over the next 3, 4 games. But he just kind of looked like he's starting to find his wind, right? And he's just been being able to get a little battle tested too with the guys. It's only going to provide valuable, I think. So yeah, I'm going for Fedora for
Yeah.
sure.
Plus, he flew into the bench when that guy brushed him. Got the
Yeah,
foul.
yeah,
Nice job.
like yeah, the Oscars were
Guys
behind.
do that against us all the time. So
Yeah.
I'm happy when that happens. Worst call of the night. Yeah, probably the call we didn't call it, frankly, for mine.
You know, they're in New Jersey, Tim. How tough you think they were playing, man? Come on. Give the guys some slack. They're playing on ice still, right?
Oh, it's the Devil's Arena, yeah.
Oh man.
And it was senior night, and there was about 1,000 people there.
New Jersey. Like that's what they do, man.
Oh,
Like
he said, "How come they're bad?" And I go, "Well, they have no NIL." And I go, "They're playing in an NHL arena, and there's like 1,000 people there. There's just like it's tough."
yeah, nah, it's a tough environment. So yeah, nah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is kind of weird that St. John's got one of their players and Seton Hall got one of St. John's players. They both start. That's kind of odd. Kind of a strange situation. I liked it in the old days when guys could not transfer within a conference.
Yeah, that was a lot different. Had to sit out and yeah. Yeah, that
Because
was
I think we were, and that might have been when you were there. We were after a guy that, like, didn't he commit to Georgetown or something? He was there for a cup of coffee and then left. And so Creighton had recruited him. So Creighton said, "Oh no, he never played there. So why can't we get him?" And Val, the commissioner, said, "No,
uh,
no, he was enrolled at Georgetown. He cannot go to Creighton."
yeah,
I
maybe
can't remember the guy's name.
Bowen. It wasn't the Bowen dude, was it? That
No,
Kentucky.
no, 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 no.
Where'd he end up going though?
He
Maryland?
went to he went to Louisville, and then the whole scandal happened. So he never even played for them. And then I think he went overseas. I think was the last I heard.
Yeah,
What a
yeah,
mess that was. Oh,
I can tell
we've
you
been
that.
involved in a bunch of mess. Then we had Ty Washington. It was supposed to be the greatest thing. He was committed, then he decommitted, and then I don't. He went to Kentucky. I don't think he really did much there. And then somebody said he was in the NBA. I don't know if he was
Uh,
for a cup of coffee or what, but I mean, he didn't have a one of those huge. The guys that we've missed out on for the most part have not had huge careers. That's been like the good thing.
well,
One guy I think of the
I
rest
guess
of the
you
top of
could
my
take that
head.
a
I'm
lot
sure
of
that
different ways, Tim.
I'm sure there's a ton of guys, but Makira from Xavier had a tremendous career, and that was one guy we missed out on.
Well, uh, guess we can name a few. I could name a few, I guess. But yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
You remember the dude? You remember the dude at Wichita? Um, he won Player of the Year. He was a guard.
Joe Ragland.
Yes.
Hmm.
So me and my son talked to him after they had lost.
Hmm.
Dude had had a few, but
Or Clemens. Joe
he
Ragland or
he
Clemens.
he was recruited by Creighton too.
Yeah.
And I asked him, they said, "Well, why did you end up going to Wichita?" He goes, "Because they lied to me." So, he was a good player, really good player. Oh, we got problems. Starksville, 2 point game,
All
two
right.
point game, Austin.
Yeah, well,
56 seconds left.
I'm not too worried about that. I just want to see what Nebraska does here.
Yeah, the second half hasn't started yet. All right. So here's a couple things. Saturday is going to be crazy. 5 o'clock game. So we will do the post game after the game. However, those senior day games, our post game tends to start later because the senior day festivities go on after the game, and it takes a while, and it takes a while for the players to get over there and the coach to get over there. So we're going to go a little bit later. Just as a side note for everybody, so we've also committed to doing post games for the women's postseason this year. Well, it just so happens that the women play at 6 o'clock that night. That overlaps the men's game, which is a little bit unfortunate. Um, I think both teams should win that game anyway. But part of our post games coverage is going to be having Flan on or one of the assistant coaches on. So I don't know how that's all going to work out, but we're going to make it work somehow. I might have to do the women's post game from my laptop in the Let It Fly studio because it's got to be done through Zoom because I got to get Flan on there. So at any rate,
Well, yeah. And like this sounds like one of those old Lutz quotes of like being omnipresent and being in multiple places at one time. So
there you go.
I don't know if we could do that, Tim, in where we are today, but yeah.
Well, if not to top that, but then Thursday starts our banner brackets mock selection committee meeting, which goes Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I'm going to be doing it all night Thursday night, all night Friday night, all Saturday morning to about 1 o'clock. Get ready, go down to the game, do the post game, do the Wednesday, then get up super early Sunday morning and hit it again. So I got 4 days just jam packed.
Okay. Okay.
By the way, so anyway, yeah, so some people asked me about this. So if you want to watch it, go to our YouTube channel, the Banner Brackets YouTube channel. Go there, and we'll probably be adding Creighton into the field on that very first session on Thursday, probably 5, 6-ish. It'll all be recorded, so you can go back later and look at it and see what
First
everybody
day.
thinks of
You're going
Creighton.
first day, Tim?
What's that?
You're going first day?
Well, we send in a list of the top up to top 30. And I'm just facilitating. I'm not actually picking any teams. I'm just kind of running things. So the guys that are in the committee send in a list up to the top 30 teams they think should be in. And if they hit 5 of the 6 ballots, then they're automatically in the field. And then we go and pick a bunch of the rest of the teams.
Okay.
So it's looking to me like we'll be down to around a 7 seed, which will leave Creighton out. So Creighton will be one of those first teams probably to go in on that next level. And then the Creighton seeding probably will happen late Friday night or into Saturday morning where they get seed when we actually seed them. So we put all the teams in the field at first, and we'll stop at some point, do some of the upper 1 through 4 line seeds, then go back, fill the rest of the field, and then seed the rest of the teams. So
Yeah.
that's how it'll go. Sunday will be wrap up, probably bubble talk, getting the final seeds in, and then actually bracketing the whole field, which doesn't take that long. So anyway, enjoy it. It'll be broken up into different segments. So go to Banner Brackets. You can see all that. Follow us on Twitter, Banner Brackets. You can follow me at TK Brackets. It'll all be on there, so you'll be able to find what's going on. What else we got? So we got post game on Saturday, and then we got the senior day. What was senior day like for you?
It was emotional. I think that was one of the most,
Who'd you
ancient.
guys play on senior day? I don't remember.
I even think we might have lost. If I don't even
It
remember.
was, I think in all the years they've done it after the game, I think I remember three where we lost.
I think we
One
lost.
was to Drake back in the Valley days.
Like I'm almost.
I don't know if the team, I think it was your senior year you guys
Like
lost.
almost positive. Like I'm almost positive. That's the thing, Tim. That thing's been scrubbed from the memory for a lot of reasons.
And
Yeah,
then
but
we lost one not that many
that's
years ago,
very
the senior
positive.
night.
So that's nice.
But it's been pretty good. We've normally played, except for the Seton Hall year when we beat Seton Hall to win the championship. Well, was that even senior night? No, that wasn't senior night. That was the game before the senior night. But anyway, for the most part, we played teams that we could handle. You know what I mean? Like
Oh yeah, yeah,
the
yeah,
schedules
yeah.
worked out nicely that way. Texas up 4 with 13 seconds left. I think Texas is back in the conversation here, guys.
I don't know. Yeah, it gives me anxiety thinking about it, Tim. I just hope they win. I just really want to see what Nebraska does because it would be great for the state, right? Have three in.
Up
It's
5. Ohio State's up 5 right now.
gotta be some history there,
They
right?
Nebraska can still. I know people are saying this is a do or die, but they can still get in if they beat Iowa and then win a game or two in the Big Ten tournament. The problem is there's always bid stealers, right?
Do not
So
say that the conference tournament means nothing. If we could roll back film, I'm pretty sure I have you on the stenographer saying that winning in the conference tournament means nothing.
it doesn't mean nothing. It just doesn't mean as much as people think it does.
Right. So like,
So you watch. Let's just say they lose tonight and they beat Iowa, and then they go to the Big Ten tournament to win the first game. Everybody will say, "Oh, well, that got us in." No, it doesn't. Not necessarily. People overreact to those wins. They do count. They do watch them. And this year the Big Ten is playing forever. Aren't they playing like 5 days? So I think Nebraska would play on a Thursday. So Thursday is always the day. I think once like tournament games get to Friday, it seems to me the committee views them as further they go along, they view them less and less. Like they don't make such a big impact. The one exception obviously is um, Texas A&M that year. Okay, hold on, Austin. We're good. We're going to get a little free basketball in Starkville. They somehow blew a 4-point lead with 13 seconds left, and it's tied.
oh yeah.
So Texas start and Mississippi State going to OT, baby. Oh, this will be crushing if Texas loses this one. Ooh, crushing loss. All right, so 5 o'clock tip. Let's get down there early. I'm sure it'll be sold out. I'm sure. Jays. By the way, so tomorrow UConn and Marquette play. So I just want to run through quickly the implications and how did I didn't even see this. Georgetown is up 2 on Nova with 32 seconds left. That would be a crushing loss for Nova because that would clinch 5th place for Xavier. And so Xavier then would play the 4th place team, which will either be Marquette or UConn in the first round of the Big East tournament. They will get a bye. But what affect that game tomorrow night? So UConn Marquette. So if UConn loses, that would give UConn 7 losses. Marquette would have 5. UConn would be locked into the 4th seed.
Okay.
At that point. So for opening round of the tournament, the 4-5 game on Thursday afternoon would be on the second day of the tournament. 4-5 game would be UConn Xavier. Ooh, that's a good game. Don't you think? That's a really good game.
I don't know. For some reason, I just don't have the faith
In
that
who?
UConn.
In UConn?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but they'll have a huge crowd advantage though. They'll
Not
have
even
the
that. It's
80%
just
UConn
like
fans.
the players, man. I just don't. I don't know. Like past few years,
I hope that happens. It'll be a great game.
I just feel like everybody now sees them as like, oh, these players are definitely beatable. Whereas the past couple of years, it's been like these are definitely, you know, next level guys, and like we just don't have
Right.
that, right? Like and I just feel like they're just kind of, I don't know. I mean, I'm not say average like
Oh, this
that.
is down. This is certainly a down year for him. But at any rate, we get second if we win, no matter what. I'm just saying if we lose. So then Marquette and us would still be tied going in the last game. They have to play St. John's.
Right.
Um, we would obviously play Butler. If St. John's, if we lose and they lose, we would still be second place. We hold the tiebreaker because then they would have lost St. John's twice. We would have lost to them once.
I just don't know if I'd want to play Xavier really at this point.
Oh no, so that's big. That's big too. If Georgetown can win this game, then Xavier will be fifth and we will be second. So we'll be opposite of them in the bracket. So the only way we'll meet is in the final. So that's huge. And one of those St. John's or Xavier will get eliminated. That's big too. So I like it all. I like where we're sitting.
All right, Tim. So can we get a prediction?
For the Big East tournament.
Early? Is it too early for that, or like is this
I
perfect?
if things work out the way I think they're going to, and UConn Xavier play, then the winner of that game plays St. John's, and then and Marquette would then have to play Villanova. That's not an easy game.
Mm.
I would love to play, I would love to play either one of those teams. I'd be a little more worried about Marquette because they have the potential to be really, when they have it cooking, they're really good. They haven't had it cooking lately. Um, I wouldn't mind playing Villanova their third game in 3 nights.
I feel like Square Garden is a perfect place for Poplar. Like he
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know. Something tells me he's just gonna have a
yeah.
great.
Villanova always plays well. So
Yeah,
yeah,
they
it's
do. They
I
probably
can't wait, man. It's gonna be great when
yeah,
it gets
you're
down to
right.
the
You're
quarters. It's gonna be awesome, awesome.
right.
Can't wait, can't wait, can't wait. Texas has
Oh, might even surprise somebody. Who knows?
Texas has taken a 3-point lead in overtime. There we go. All right. So anyway, Saturday 5 o'clock tip, and then we'll be on live on our YouTube channel around 7:30 ish or so. We'll kind of try to get us started. We'll kind of get a gauge from. I'll have to speak with John McHugh about that this week. What is the availability of the student athletes for that game? And if it's coaches, they can come over fairly quickly. So we'll get that game, that post game, cooking as quickly as we can. Austin, thanks for doing this. By the way, Georgetown did win, so Xavier is clinched for fifth place. Xavier has fifth. I guess. Frankly, there's a world Xavier could take fourth. Actually, if UConn loses, oh no, UConn's playing Seton Hall on Saturday. They're not
Playing
going to lose.
Seton Hall though, Tim, they might have their number. I've already said this. I
They're
said this.
playing in. They're playing in stores. They're not going to lose that game.
You're
No
right.
way. Not at senior day.
I'm telling you, man. I think
Not going to happen,
I
Austin.
think Seton Hall sees exactly what I'm saying. Those guys are human, and they put a pen.
Crushing loss for Nova, though. Any slim post NCAA chances out the window now. So,
Who?
all right, for Nova,
Yeah,
they were
yeah.
they were still in it, but they're done now. Thanks,
That's
buddy. Appreciate it.
cool.
Everybody stay safe out there, man. It's wicked out there. I think all schools are canceled tomorrow. So,
Nice. All right, man. Take
all
care.
right, see ya. We'll see you Saturday, buddy. Thanks.